And just like that, training camp is here. Welcome in, folks. It's RGR Football. He's Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. We're hanging out. Things look a little different. Things are a little weird, and it's going to be just fine. I haven't even started drinking yet, so it's going to be a good time. How are you, Dan?
Oh, everything's out of the house, guys. We have an empty house here, and I'm on an air mattress. Well, the laptop's on an air mattress. So you're going to see me adjust myself at least like 5 times trying to find a comfortable position. I am, unlike my wife, I cannot sit cross-legged. It is impossible for me to sit comfortably cross-legged. So we're going to do this like this, and then hopefully next time around, it's not as uncomfortable.
Knock on wood. I got my fingers crossed for you. We're going to have a good time tonight, folks. We're on the eve of training camp. If you guys saw my piece yesterday, obviously George Karlaftis news came down. We kind of hinted about that coming as a way to get ahead of some of the other pass rushers that we're going to force that deal up. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And we're going to answer all your questions like we always do on Monday night, year round, pretty much every Monday. Unless it's a holiday, you're going to have us answer your questions. You guys are in charge. We're just here to provide the answers. So, sub, throw your question in there, hit it. You can see some of our normal folks, our standard crew is in here. Question marks before the comments. It helps me pick them out of the chat because my eyes are old and because I have an attitude problem. It's perfectly fine, but that's just the way that it goes. So that helps. Every super chat gets an answer, and we're going to take care of you. But before we do that, and while those stack up, bottom line is, despite Omar Norman Lott coming in and them avoiding the whole drama about the second round picks and now getting George done and everything, that is all personally gratifying to me to see the defense come together. But the bigger story right now is obviously with the Rice suspension going to come, but we don't know what it's going to be, et cetera, et cetera. The bottom line is NFL has no idea what they're about to get into because they think that they have the Chiefs on the ropes. They think that they're able to just count them out. Chiefs have a grudge to take back at the rest of the league. And I think it feels more real that they're like pissed about it than I've felt in quite a long time. How are you feeling about where they're at?
I don't know if they're pissed about it personally. I don't think that they take that stuff in the same way anymore. I think it's more just about business. They know that this is done on the field. It's not done in talk shows. It's not done by people running their mouths. It's not done because somebody says this or that. It's because they put the work in. It's because they consistently are in Super Bowls. No, this isn't the drought, guys. Remember, we talked about this. Droughts are when things don't happen for a long time, a very long time, not coming off three straight years in the Super Bowl. So we understand that this is a team that knows how to get there. It knows how to do the prep work, and it knows what it takes to get to the promised land. Obviously, they're coming off of a loss in the Super Bowl. It's going to sting. But at the end of the day, they know they just weren't good. They weren't good that day. It was a bad day. They got their asses handed to them. But this is not about being pissed off about that. It's about learning from the mistakes from last season, the years before, and trying to put the best possible team on the field. And that's where I think this team is. It's the matured stage. The rookies that come in, they know what it takes because they've been listening to Patrick, to the staff, to everybody to this point. And it's about understanding. So I'm on the opposite end, maybe not in total opposite, but more of they've come full circle from, we don't have to get pissed off about this stuff. It's about knowing and learning from those things that happen.
I love that we're on opposite ends of this because like it feels like we're on just across from each other on a wheel and we're spinning around.
Yeah,
and that actually helps us be more prepared because I don't know that anybody's gonna be 100% right. So you have a different perspective than me, and I appreciate that. And it gives everybody, I think, a second voice that I know people are like, hey, you guys agree too much. Well, guess what? We don't right now. So enjoy that. That was for you guys. So we're going to jump into it. Chest master. I don't know if that's supposed to be with a T or not, but I like it. What do you think is the most overrated and underrated position salary cap wise in terms of dollars against the cap for the performance?
That's a tough one. I don't necessarily know if there are any overrated positions in terms of cap space or maybe percentage of the cap. But if I had to say one, still would be guard. Like it still is. It's become more important but it's that part of the situation that guards typically, again, typically are easier to find starting level caliber. I will say that. All pros are different, but very good players are typically a little bit easier to find. So I would say overrated at guard right now, and specifically because we've seen a boom in guard money like lately. So I will say that underrated is probably safety.
Mm.
Have to be extremely intelligent to play safety. You have to know a lot. And I know everyone talks about this scheme versus that scheme, but if you are a good safety, you can play single high, you can play two high, you can play in the box, you can play a little bit of nickel. They do it all players. And a lot of times they are waiting on the free agent market to get signed. A lot of times these guys are waiting for 1-year deals. And Mike Edwards is one
Mhm.
of the players as well. We saw this happen a few years ago where really good safeties, Justin Simmons is another example of that. They're just waiting on the market to get this for a team to happen. So I would say safety.
I think I have to agree with you. I'm just double checking the salary table across the league right now. And for safeties, it looks like the top paid safety on this team is Brian Cook at less than $6 million against the cap. And that might be the total. Yeah, that's the total value of his contract.
Yeah.
That's somewhere in the 50s because I stopped counting. So that's how like little you're paying into that position for the return that you're getting. And I like that you brought that up. I would say corner for right now is probably still very much the same until Trent McDuffie happens. So we'll see what happens there too. But both of those are what happens when you invest early in the draft and you're able to keep those classes running and have them pay off and contribute to your roster. So kudos to Veach. That's how you get in this position. Mike, I hope you're doing well, bud. How many games do you think Rice will get and why?
This is again another. You guys are leading off some tougher questions. I like it. It makes us think a little bit more. I'm not a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. I am not somebody that understands a lot of these things, but I have friends who are. I have read a little bit about some of the situations. And I think the key difference in this one, and as well as other ones, is that there is not a inherently violent act in the Rashee Rice situation. Stupid, yes, very stupid. But there is not an inherent violent act, a crime in that way that was committed. So I think we're going to see a 4-game suspension because there is not that escalator. If it was like a violent crime or a violent felony or something like that, you'd be seeing 6 and 8. So for me, I'm at 4.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from. I think the NFL tries to go there. I think they try to go 6. I think it ends up being 3 on an appeal that gets cut in half. Only because it was that kind of ludicrous, like bad decision making. You know what I mean? I think they know that they will lose on appeal. If they feel that they're not going to lose on appeal, I agree with you. I would say 4 is probably way more accurate. So somewhere in there, in the end, I think he serves 3 or 4 games is what it comes down to. Thanks, Micah. Steve, what does the cornerback depth chart look like with Fulton on PUP? Well, it gives you that Jalen Watson is still one of your starters. Right now, I personally feel, Dan, like maybe that means that Trent actually spends camp on the outside more than we thought he would. Where do you stand on it?
I think Trent's going to demand to be playing on the outside this year, regardless. I'll be honest, because of the contracts that are going down, and because he did not get paid next, because George Karlaftis did. I think he is going to go to Spags and say, "Look, I'm an All-Pro 2 years in a row. I don't care where you put me. Yeah, right. If you want me to play for this defense, I want to get paid, and the only way I'm going to do that is by earning another All-Pro at outside corner, which is something that Sauce Gardner does not have 2 years in a row." So
agreed.
That's what he's going to probably end up doing. And again, I was on play Trent McDuffie on the outside team forever. Like I want him on the outside. I understand that he's a good nickel. You can find good nickels, decent nickels. I think Trent McDuffie is every bit of an elite player on the outside as he is from a nickel perspective.
I think you're absolutely right, and I am with you on that. And I will say this: when you look at what the possibilities are, you have Jalen Watson, who's the number 2 behind Trent in their class, regardless. But when you look at who else would have to be on the field, if you leave Trent inside, that means it's Josh Williams, possibly Najee Johnson, or the rookie Noel Williams. And I don't like any of those combinations. If you put Trent inside, I'm sorry, if you put Trent outside, then that means CRW can come in at nickel. And I think that's a better overall scenario to have the best three that you have now on the field at the time. So I agree with you. I'd like to see him outside. I think he'll push for that as well. So the key here, Steve, is I don't know how long the pup's going to be for Fulton. We don't know exactly where he's at. He finished last season without an injury. Yes, he tweaked something. I don't know that it's going to be like earth-shattering and forever. So let's cross our fingers that it's shorter rather than longer. Micah, does Kareem Hunt make the team? And if so, are we keeping 4 RBs? I say yes and yes. Do you?
Yes, I do as well.
I think that's probably the safest way to go. Attrition's going to be a bear this year, I think. And Mike also had one. Matt Veron thinks that the offense will look a lot like it did last year when Rice was out during the games that Rice is be suspended this year. I don't tend to agree with Matt very often, and this is another one where I can see where he's going, but I just can't get there myself. I think there are too many shifting of gears, and particularly having Hollywood there that still allows you to run 2-man pattern attacks. You can keep some of your concepts in there. I don't think it's as earth-shattering. What do you think?
I don't think so either, but I do think that because the beginning of the season, if you don't have Rashee Rice, you're also going to be learning a new offensive line. That's where it comes down to for me. The chemistry of the offensive line is going to determine how this offense looks early on. Not to mention, if you can actually create explosives in the run game, it allows you to do a lot more from the play action perspective. So I understand, again, where he's coming from. I think they're going to be more open-minded about the plays that they're calling early on in the season as well to try to actually throw the ball down the field. But again, this comes back to the offensive line. If the offensive line plays as poorly as it did last year, then they're not going to have much of a choice.
And I haven't seen a question about it, but the offensive line is going to deal with some pup ramifications here too. Yep. I'm sure we'll get to it. And if we don't, then Danny and I'll just talk about it anyway, because it's going to be something. Tilly, nice to see you. Tight ends, where did all those toes come from? I'm not sure. I didn't quite understand that one, but I decided to leave it in.
I think there was a question beforehand, and he accidentally. Let me see. I'll go
toes
back.
Instead of ties. I don't know. I got it. I just thought it was funny, so I left it in there. Terry, what are the most camp battles in camp that you're excited to see? What are the biggest battles that you're excited to see? Well, I got to tell you, a lot of folks. I've gotten a lot of flack in the last 2 weeks about talking down or trashing the Chiefs' defensive line because I'm not impressed with what Mike Pennell and Jerry Tillery can do. I've watched ball games. I don't know what else to tell you. Both of them make plays at times. Neither of them is a full-time player at this point. I love Mike Pennell. I think he's great. I think his personality is awesome, and I think he can make plays, but he's not a pass rusher. And that's the number one thing that I care about right now is getting someone else to pass rush so they can't double team your 2 stars over and over and over and over. So I do think that is a battle that we need to see not only heat up, but maybe get fresh blood into.
Have people forgotten that Tershawn Wharton's not on the roster anymore? He's not there. The only other proven run stopper they had was Derek Nottie. He's a New York Jet now. Where's the talent? Where's it coming from? Omar Norman Lott, again, I have high hopes. Don't get me wrong. I have high hopes. But what's the one thing he did in college? Rush the passer. What's the one thing Jerry Tillery has been mediocrely good at? Rushing the passer. None of these guys stop the run. Okay? And I understand that the main concern for Steve Spagnuolo is not stopping the run. They were weirdly good at it last year. A top 10 run defense in the NFL. Made no sense. But we know Steve Spagnuolo doesn't care about this. In terms of, I have to stop the run. He says, no, I have to stop you from getting a first down. And however I do it, I want to get to the blitz. That's what he wants. He wants to get to the blitz. He wants to be able to throw your quarterback off his game because quarterbacks are what make this right now. So if you can bring me somebody that has the all-around capability of stopping the run, I care more about that than Steve Spagnuolo does, personally. And the roster they put together suggests he still doesn't care about it. But again, I think that there are some upside players possibly there. I get the camp battle that I want to see most is going to be Josh Simmons, Jalen Moore. I think Josh Simmons, if he's fully healthy, he's going to win the job completely out of just 100%. I think he's going to win it out the gate, which is fantastic. Hopefully that happens, and hopefully we get to see him healthy. And kind of weirdly, I'm excited to watch this punter battle. I want to see someone that can aim the punt. I want to see somebody that can coffin corner this nonsense. I'm so tired of just getting back there and booting it out of the end zone. Like, it happens too much over the past 3 or 4 years, man. I'm tired of it.
That's fair. That's fair. That part will be nice. I don't care about the battle. Just somebody's got to do it right. And I'm going to hold my opinion on the tackle thing because someone did ask the right question. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you helping us move the thing along. I'll get to it in a little bit because I have something completely different that everyone's probably going to call me crazy for, but that's going to be fun.
Okay.
Chiefs need to keep
Found
4
it.
toes. Absolutely. You got to have
it. This was the
usually
tight end
5. I guess you can go with 4 if you have the big toe, right?
Well,
but you
I was
usually
about to
need
say,
5.
Not all of them are toes, so you might only have 4.
Good catch. I'm glad you found Tilly's. Oh, did I just double hit you? Sorry.
No, I'm getting rid of questions.
Okay, cool. With Rice suspended, I doubt he gets 1,000 yards. Should we re-sign him next offseason for cheater? Like we did with Tyreek's first extension? Hell yeah. Why not? Especially if he is suspended, if he serves 4 games, he might not get that 1,000 yards. He might. I'm not saying he won't. I'm not convinced of that. And if he serves 3 or less, I think it is even money that he might hit 1,000 yards still.
Absolutely. I think if he only misses 3 games, I still think it's in the realm of possibilities for him. I also think that if he does that, what's he going to say? No, I'm not signing a contract.
True.
Because guess what? When I play a full year next year, I'm going to go for $1,500, and you're going to have to pay me a lot more.
Right. I would like to get paid, please. Then I don't have to race cars. I'll just buy them all.
Oh, whoa! Shots fired.
Nah. You gotta use it for what it's worth. Like, I think Pat needs to have an MVP year to shill. I mean, the guy shuffles more product than anyone we can think of, right? Does he really need an MVP year to continue to be the product producing guy that he is?
I don't think he cares about that anymore. I'll be honest. It's cool. There's only one thing Patrick Mahomes cares about. It's winning Super Bowls. He's got 2 MVPs. He's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Like, at the end of the day, it's about winning rings now. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, there's only one thing that can improve his stock, in his legend, and that's Super Bowl wins. That's it. There ain't nowhere else to go, swag. Cody, good to see you, pal. Did you guys see what Mike Brown said? What the heck? The whole man is I did not see what Mike Brown said. Do you know what he's talking about?
Mike Brown.
I
believe he's talking Bengals owner.
Yeah.
He needs to go. He needs to go. His time is over. He's speculating that Shamar Stewart could do something illegal, and he doesn't want to pay him money if he does something against the law where he's sitting in jail.
Oh, wow.
So again, I think this is him spinning this. He's saying that his agent is telling him that's the hang up right now, is that he wants to be paid for something that he's not going to do, but just in case. Yeah, no offense, dude. You sound like a racist owner, which again would not shock me.
No, wouldn't shock me either. I just say just let them keep screwing it up. So hey, keep using those heavy picks and then not signing them. That worked just fine for me. The Bengals are just I think Pat needs to have an MVP year, Swag said. But he can't have a down year and unexpectedly lose in the wild card round. Woo! I agree. I think if that happens, we need to have a convo about Josh. I don't know that it would be because of Josh Simmons, if that's who you're referring to. If you're talking about Josh Allen, I don't know what we need to talk about other than if they lost in the wild card to the Bills, then maybe we could have a conversation. So I don't want to have it, so we'll hold off for now.
I think this is relevant.
Oh, okay. You guys say he needs Super Bowls, and that's true, but he won't win every year. Absolutely true. So he can't produce 25 touchdowns and 4,000 yards and be okay with that. That's fair, but they kind of go hand in hand. If he's producing more than that, he's more likely to go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going to say that he's got to have some down years, it's probably going to mean that his offensive production is down as well. So I would be more concerned if he's putting up 5,000 yards this season and they don't make a Super Bowl and win it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. Trust me. Like we know there's going to be fluctuations with years. Like I don't think he's ever happy with a performance like they had last year. But again, not that's not at the precipice of what he cares about. He cares about staying in shape. He cares about going out there and getting his team the best opportunity to win, regardless of whether that's throwing those 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. It doesn't matter to him. It's how it gets done. So
sorry about that, Swag. I'm catching up now that I'm reading too quickly. Gotta let you delete stuff. Is Andy's biggest foible overthinking simple situations in general? Does he have someone who can keep him even keeled? That's a great question, Stephen. I feel like Matt Nagy's more the push him towards creativeness and craziness and like less grounded. For all that we could see that there was tension with Eric Bieniemy, I think he was more of a keep it simple kind of guy. I don't know. But that's just my read on it. Do you agree, or what do you see from Steven's question?
my biggest thing is that Andy Reid refuses to surround himself with people he doesn't know. He refuses to allow outside types of imagination, creativity, ideas to get in his way of doing anything. Sometimes, in order to be creative, in order to have that spark again, you need somebody to give you an idea you haven't thought of yourself. And when you consistently surround yourself with people who know you, who have worked with you for years, they're only going to be telling you things that you taught them, nothing that is generally new and inventive. So I know Andy Reid says that he watches high school and tries to create different things with high school football and college football. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, his biggest issue is that he doesn't allow other ideas from different coaching trees to infiltrate what he does. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I mean, when you look at it, even when he does let somebody go have another opportunity like Matt Nagy to become a head coach and do his own thing, and he brings them back, it's still like you didn't execute on some of the fundamentals that I taught you in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a wheel. Thanks, Steve. I've been directed by certain parties that I can't break some news about contracts publicly. I'm sorry, Cody.
My DMs are open, Cody.
I was gonna say you know how to get a hold of me. You feel free. I'll break it for you. I don't care.
I'm not going to say anything. I promise.
Well, thank you, buddy. Going on 4 years.
Thank you, Will.
One of the OGs. I appreciate you. Always hanging around. Always with us. I know it's another season, and we're doing this yet again. But thank you for being here, and appreciate you and your support. If it comes down to Tyquan Thornton or Sky Moore, who makes the roster?
Tyquan.
Double T. Yep. T squared. Whatever you want to call it. Only because, if nothing else, if it's absolutely 100% even on the field, you know what you have in Sky Moore.
Yep.
It sucks, but it is what it is. Kyle, thank you. Appreciate you. Have you guys decided on any days that you'll be at camp this year? That is a great question. Very difficult for both of us. Dan's on the move, quite literally.
Yes. I don't think it's going to happen this year, guys. I don't think I'm getting to training camp.
It's a tough one.
There's just too much going on.
Can't bring the air mattress when you're in the middle of a move.
No, like it's that I'm trying to make sure when we get there that everything gets moved in properly. By the time we're like done and settled, training camp will be over. Effectively be over. So it's just not going to work for me.
I don't have a date yet. I'm going to drop in for a day is basically the way it's going to work, because I too have moved this summer, and I'm still, if you guys can look around the rest of the studio, it's still in boxes. So like we're slowly working through that as well, but I know exactly how you feel about that kind of thing. I always aim for the week after the first preseason game. I might have to let that slip to after the second preseason game this year and just try to catch something as we're doing the circuit kind of around the country for some recruiting stuff that we're working on with the family. And we have a couple of trips that we have to make to go see some schools and stuff like that. So it'll be kind of on the backside of a trip, but I will give you guys at least a day or two notice when I'm getting there, and hopefully we can connect and sweat it out together, because of course it'll be the hottest day of camp whenever I show up. So that's
true.
The way that goes for me. So it'll be fun. Gary, nice to see you, pal. Our moderator and resident man in charge. With the Chiefs signing Karlaftis, Is there any doubt the Chiefs might not sign Trent McDuffie? I think we have different takes on this, but I'll give you the synopsis of mine real quick. Then you tell me yours. I think they decided to go with George first because, quite frankly, the only guy that is out there that could force his contract higher is a significant jump in Hutchinson, right? And so if they were to let that slide and let him get signed, it would pull George's contract up. McDuffie's already had the guys ahead of him get signed. So like there's nothing else that they like have to watch out for. They just got to work their deal. That's how I see it.
That's fair. That's a point that I didn't really think about. And when you consider they had to get Trey Smith signed before it even happened, there's nothing they could have done after it got signed to actually get Trent McDuffie's done first, which again, I would have probably still prioritized Trent McDuffie first because he's a better player. But that's, again, when you're structurally, and that's a good point you bring up, because again, I was not thinking about that. But team-wise, you are trying to save money in ways that you can. And the Chiefs don't use void years to save money. So this strategically is a better cost-effective move for the Chiefs because, like you said, there's not anybody out there that's really going to push Trent McDuffie's contract up, and they have 2 years of control. So this is a really good point, and really, honestly, a really good move by them to go with George Karlaftis first.
Yeah. I mean, I know everybody's up in arms about the new money. And I told you in my reaction piece, 93 for 4 years. Yes, that's tacked on. So you get an averaging out of this season plus next season that's already on the 5th-year option. And so that brings the total down. You're over averaging, falls below 20 on George for this year, for this 6 years. So that is, I mean, I think we're going to look back on that and feel that that's like economical, like bargain bin at this point. 3 years
likely
from now, edges are going to be making all kinds of money.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, they know that George isn't going to be worth that. Let's be honest. They put incentives in his contract. Those are there, and I'm just George Karlaftis is a great role-playing defensive end. He just is. He's a guy you want to have around. So, like you said, about $19-20 million 3 years from now, we're going to look back at this and say, yeah, that's exactly what he should be being paid.
Yeah, I am confident we're going to be pretty happy with it, even through its duration. Thank you, Gary. Good to see you. Donnie, thank you for the support, pal. 2 questions. What are the Bengals doing? They have no idea. And could Trey continue into the season? Yeah. And thoughts on the Zach Tom contract. Is it worth it? I have not seen the details on it yet. So what do you think about Trey? And I'll look up Zach.
So the Trey Hendrickson stuff, I have it on good authority. One of my guys that covers the Bengals, he has kind of an inclusive deal with them. He's interviewed with the players. He was actually lined up to talk to Trey Hendrickson today, and he had to push that interview for reasons that he could not reveal to the public. So I'm assuming the deal is going to get done in the next few days. Again, that's an assumption I'm making based off of someone who I know that knows them. But again, the Bengals are stingy with their money. They didn't want to pay T. Higgins. They didn't want to pay Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase at the same time, but here they are. They didn't have a choice because they are elite players, and they really couldn't afford to let them go. And then they had to sign T. Higgins. They did not have a choice in that regard either. So they are going to pinch their pennies. And as we know, because Shamar Stewart still has not had a contract signed as a first-round pick, it's if it continues, there's always a possibility it can continue, but I think it's coming to an end in the next couple of days.
Okay. Hey, we'll see. They've done dumber things, so they still have time to screw it up. So don't.
Oh yeah.
As far as Zach Tom goes, it's 4 years, $88 million extension, $92 million in total, with 30 guaranteed. That's pretty light.
30 million guaranteed?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a steal.
Yeah, that's pretty dang light. I'm sorry, I misread that. It's 30 million signing bonus, not guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
The guarantees are not released yet.
All right.
I still think that's a pretty good deal. Tom is a guy that when he came in the league, I think we both liked him. I certainly did, just based on the athleticism. I didn't know that he'd grow into this kind of contract, But I certainly have no problem with it. If you're a Packers fan, I think you should be pretty ecstatic because you can base whatever you do next, whether it's staying with Jordan, trying to go back to a heavier run offense, or trying to like turn it into a West Coast deep threat kind of thing. I think he can do it all.
Yeah, Zach Tom has been not only one of the most valuable tackles over the past couple of seasons, but he's a hit, 5th-round pick, if I'm not mistaken, and he's a franchise guy for them. Like he's going to be very, very valuable for that team, and that's something that the Packers have done a very good job of over the course of their. You guys, if you've watched the Packers over the last decade plus, they're very good at identifying day 3 and day 2 players to start for them on the offensive line. The only guy that they missed on was the guy that took at the end of the 1st round last year out of Arizona. I forget the guy's name because they don't like him very much. But he ended up getting hurt last year. I'm being unfair. But you guys, they've done a very good job, and I think that's a very good contract for Zach Tom.
Yeah, I would say Zach Tom is the Packers version of Trey Smith. They got him for a super bargain on day 3. They ended up having to pay him, and while you might not like the numbers, it's certainly worth it given the investment and the development you've done in them. It's crazy. So good for them. Swag boy. Pat needs to have an MVP year, in my opinion. He can't afford to throw for those low yards. Okay, so he's reiterating this and make sure I get it right this time.
Yeah.
Ahead of Josh and Lamar as the best quarterback, in my opinion. I really want an MVP level Pat. I agree with you. Like, I really want to see that as well because I think, and there was just a discussion within the last week. Whose pod was that? I think it was the Move the Sticks. Bucky and Lance Zerline talking about, well, we have to leave Patrick on top because no one's beaten him yet. Well, he really needs to be on top because he's the best at doing his job.
I'm trying to tell you no. He's saying no.
Saying no what?
He's saying no to don't read it.
Oh.
They duplicated. It's fine. I was just trying to be funny about it. All right. He's sorry.
I'm drinking. I'll be back.
I'm sorry. I tried to make that funny. He did not take it very well. Ruthless. I need.
No, it was funny.
I need to see dumb. Simmons. No, you're not. You're not dumb. It's not your fault. We didn't know they duplicated in that we had them start. It's not your fault.
Well, each time there was a little bit extra, so I was like, oh, he's adding to it. Never mind.
It's fine. It's not a problem. Thank you very much for the $5 Ruthless. I need to see Simmons versus GK immediately, day of pads, because I want to see Simmons versus actual functional power rushers. You're not wrong there. Personally, I have no problems with him against power. I want to see him against NFL speed. And unfortunately, he's not going to get that in training camp. So there's a big problem already.
Yeah. Power's not the issue. Ruthless, thank you. Maybe you should do the reading. I don't know because Swag's up. See, I'm not. You're reading Swag.
So you just don't even. We're not doing it. Sorry, Swag. If you have one in here, if you have another comment or question, put it now so I can come and get it.
Oh, that's too good. What position are you most nervous about heading into camp? Beyond Kelsey Gray, tight end feels like a huge question mark to me. I won't argue with that. It's definitely up in the air, but it's also not something they have to have. They don't have to have a third tight end that can be, a chunk of the offense. They don't have to have that, in my opinion. I am more nervous about the defensive tackle job. And I'm more nervous about who's going to be in the nickel if Trent is outside. Like we both feel like he should be. That's where I get twitchy.
I think nickel is the thing for me. Like I think they'll be fine. It's fine at safety. Like they do that. That's fine. But nickel, if we're talking about Shamari Connor in the year 2025, we got some damn problems, guys. We got some real problems if he is the solidified nickel. They did not do a very good job of identifying that that's a real position that they need. And then they haven't even looked at CRW. Again, he played better at pure nickel than Shamari Connor did ever. Yeah. So just that's where I'm nervous. And to Ryan's point, having a tight end 1 and a tight end 2 is exactly where the team should be. Solidified tight end 1, tight end 2. So I understand like the huge question mark stuff with Robert Tonyan, but he's proven I think he's going to make the roster. Weirdly enough, and again, you've got unproven guys as your tight end 4, which is fine for me. It's fine for me.
I'm just not convinced on Tonyan. Maybe it'll change my mind when I see him. I don't know.
I mean, I don't want him to make the roster. I'll be really clear. I'd rather have my guy make the roster over that. But
I think he still will.
I do too. But you know.
So Jeremy helped me out and put this in here so I wouldn't forget about it. So the PUP ramification is that Jawaan Taylor's not starting camp, ready to go. He's on PUP. He's not going to be practicing. The ramification is this. Starting tomorrow, Jalen Moore and Josh Simmons are not battling. They're both starters tomorrow. This is the way I see it. I don't think there's any other way to go about it because one of them has to start at left tackle this season. So you have to get them ready, even if that means reps on the right-hand side. So they both walk out there with the ones if everything is correct in the world, as far as I can see. And if Jawaan Taylor is unable to perform through camp, that means he's not starting week 1. If he doesn't start week 1, I don't know that there's a way to stop that momentum to switch him back in. I'm concerned that we're sitting in week 4 with Rashee Rice about to come back from suspension going, we're going to pay a tackle $27 million to sit on the bench all year. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm not worried about that. You guys remember in March when they signed Jalen Moore? And then I did the film review and I was like, I put my tinfoil hat on and I said, I think he's a better right tackle. I think if the Chiefs actually do draft Josh Simmons, then realistically, if he starts at left tackle, Jalen Moore would be better than our guy, Jawaan Taylor, at right tackle. So I think this is the best situation that could have come through this. And my tinfoil hat is actually not a tinfoil hat. It is a predictive hat where this could actually happen this year. Now, if this does happen, Andy Reid said that he expects Taylor back before
Fulton and
before Christian Fulton, but we don't know what that means because Andy Reid doesn't ever care about giving you real information about these things. And if we get real good Jalen Moore in camp and then he performs well in the preseason, here comes the train, baby. We're going to have the best offensive line since Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz.
Could be. And at that point, I guess I'll just shut up and not worry about paying a guy that much money to sit on the bench because there are worse things. Yeah.
Okay. They've already given it to him, right? Like,
yeah.
At this point, they've already given it to him. If he's not playing well, you can't take the money back anyway. And if Jalen Moore's playing better, you can't start Jawaan Taylor if he's not playing well and if someone's out playing him. And if he can't play. So I can't worry about something that's already been committed to him.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then Scott followed it up with this one. If Moore plays well, could Moore become a trade piece? Do you think that they would do that? I don't. He's still a bargain as a starter no matter what. Only rookies will play for less money than him. He's half of what Taylor costs. So even if it's not this year, going into next year, I don't think there's any way they pass on that bargain.
If he plays well, they should extend him immediately. Extend him immediately. You find a way. I'm not joking about this, guys, either. We're talking about if Jalen Moore makes the transition to right tackle and he plays well, you extend him immediately. You cannot go further into the problem situation where you're trying to find tackles. If he wins it and he's good, you extend him.
Hey, that's fair, and that's where Brady's going. If he plays that well, could he win the job? He could, especially if we don't know. And like you said, Andy said Jawaan could be back. Jawaan has been playing hurt for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason to think that he's going to miraculously bounce back now? I don't know.
Immediately? Like the surgery he just heals and he's fine?
Yeah. That's where I'm at. Like that's scary to me. And so I do think there is a possibility that it doesn't go that well. We're about to find out.
We are.
There are worse things. Thank you, Brady. And thank you, Jeremy. Alex, if Rice is suspended before game 1, does it in a way bode well for the more recovery time on his knee? I'm trying to find a positive. I mean, yeah, they'll still work him through camp, so he'd still have that kind of grind. But game action is a different level of competition. If he's suspended before that, he'll still be able to complete camp. He'll still be able to complete everything up until the first week of practice for week 1. So in which case he'll get a rest, and maybe that, gives him a boost. It's like a mini bye week early, it could help.
Yeah, he's going to be participating in full. We got that update already. He's going to be participating in full. So recovery time at this point, not necessarily, unless he had like a tighten up or something tightened up or anything like that. But for all we know is that he's going to be participating in full throughout camp. So it could hurt him more than it helps him.
Rust is real, but we can get there. Nice to see you, Dan Thompson. Hope you're doing well. Do you think the Chiefs are looking at Noah Fant and or Jack Driscoll? I think Fant could be a distant possibility if Tonyan doesn't work out. I see Tonyan as the backup to Wiley being better, and maybe he does make the roster, but I don't think they're really stomping the grass right now. Do you?
I don't think so. Again, I think Brenningstool is a better version of what people thought Noah Fant was. Noah he's just more of a speed guy. He doesn't do anything particularly well. He doesn't. The fact that he was a first round draft pick still blows my mind to this day. It never made any sense to me. But I think people thought he could be Travis Kelce. Like a lot of things that stick into everyone's mind is that preseason game where Travis just ran away from the Bengals secondary. Like Andy and Matt Nagy was talking about it on the podcast with Jason and Travis the other day. Like that play, that's when they knew they had something in Trav. People kind of try to do the same thing with tight ends. They're not built the same way. Travis is built different. Like he's just built different, and he always has been. That's what elite and all-timers are. They're built differently. So I don't think Noah Fant's in the question at all for the Chiefs, and there are other tight end needy teams out there who are probably poking around.
Yeah, that's a fairly good point. He might get picked up before that. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Nice to see you, buddy. Patrick, good to see you too. So curious, how did you guys meet and come together in the best coverage of Chiefs on YouTube? Thank you very much for that. I mean, how did it start, Dan? I went begging for you to do some content. Is that how it worked?
Honestly, that's kind of how it went on. So I started for me, it started in the fan posts over at Arrowhead Pride, like most things did. And then I started doing film breakdowns for people that got away from Arrowhead Pride and made their own website that I don't think functions anymore called what was it? I honestly don't even remember what it was. That's sad. But yeah, it was a little website that just
it was like a community forum, right? It was almost like a Discord at the time, right? It's just a community board post, right?
No, it was like we did actual work. For whatever reason, for the life of me, I cannot think of the name of the website.
Guys.
Arrowhead Guys. Yes, arrowheadguys.com. Thank you very much. I apologize, my friends who helped me on my journey. That's where I started my work. I did, I wasn't getting paid, but you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start, and that's where it happened. And then for me, Twitter, I didn't even join until 2016. Like I wasn't even on Twitter until 2016. So I didn't find it until then, and that's how I discovered all this stuff. Then, 2020, the year after they won. Actually, no, it was actually before that, because I did the interview with Byron Pringle after they won the Super Bowl. So I was working with you that season, I think the year before. So it had to have been the 2019, just before the draft. Because we started doing those things. We found each other on Twitter. Ryan reached out, and from there it's history. And I really can't tell you how much I appreciate the comment right there. The best coverage on of the Chiefs on YouTube. That is extremely high praise. We couldn't do this without you guys, and I know Ryan thinks the exact same. We know, and the fact that, and I'm going to try not to be rude about this, toot my own horn, but built this from nothing. I didn't know anything about football. I loved watching football. My wife always joked, like, you should go write about football because you're always telling me what happens before the announcers do. So it was always something that I wanted to do. And now I work here and I work for Bleacher Report. Like, it's a wild and crazy thing to visit how you got here. Like, it's go back and watch some of the videos from 2019, guys. You should go back and watch how bad it was. Like, how bad I was. Like, it was just the quality. Obviously, I was on a camera, like on a worse laptop than this. Like, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, don't go watch me in 2018 or whenever I started this. Don't. No. I was caught somewhere between being cinematic and like hardcore football nerd, right? And somehow there was a medium, and then you balanced everything out. And then honestly, I think it was Seth and I that were talking about you before I reached out to you. And then Seth ended up joining us for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a roller coaster. It's been a lot of fun. And, you know, Gary was at Arrowhead Pride as well. Like I started there back in the day. My first posts, I I called the D Ford pick in a post there when I ran down that draft class. And it was it was off and running at that point. I wish I hadn't called that, but you know, I can only do what I can do. It is what it is. But thank you, Patrick. Thank you for being here for so long. We know you've been with us the whole ride. We appreciate you. Mo, nice to see you, pal. What's up? If Royals has a great camp, will we see him a lot while Rice is out? I said this the other day, and I feel because of roles and because they're very used to throwing rookies farther into the mix than they've had or planned to, Dan, I think he is the guy. Juju will get a little uptick, in my opinion, but I think he will reap a lot of the rewards of getting more reps in a controlled way with Rasheed out.
That's the thing about Jalen Royals is that he can do everything, but he's an explosive after the catch player. He's physical after the catch too. So I don't think you want to limit what he can do. But if you are trying to create some of the things that Rasheed Rice does, you can easily funnel those to him early on in the season. And I think that's I'm not going to try to like put it on him now because it's not going to be the same level of what Rasheed Rice has been doing. It's learning the defensive leverage and where exactly to stop. But you're probably going to see him used in a lot of the same ways to create explosives that aren't just pure downfield stretch, throws, like things like that.
Yeah. But you got to man it, and I think he gives you a viable option to really find quickly, just like you did with Rasheed his first year and Xavier his first year, what you can do for us right now. Like, we know you're going to grow into something, but what can you do right now? And is that enough? And I think it probably will be as a supplement to Hollywood and Xavier. I don't think it can be the same thing, but I think it'll be cool. I really do. Thanks, Mo. Good to see you. Dan, nice to see you. Who has the better chance of making the roster, Taekwon or Sky? I think we both think Taekwon, right?
Yes, we both think that.
Okay. If you had to name 10 offensive linemen for KC this year, who is it? Well, you have your 5 starters, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, we're just gonna throw Jawan Taylor in there too, so there's 6.
We're gonna call him
Hunter Norzad would be 7. Mike Caliendo probably makes the roster because Andy Reid can't quit him. There's 8. I think this comes down to, does Wanya Morris show you anything? Can he be a backup?
Regardless.
Yeah, I think he's going to probably be your backup right tackle.
Yep.
Or left tackle, swing tackle. He's your Cam Irving, guys. There's 9. The last one comes down to Ethan Driscoll, probably.
See, it's a 3-way tie for me. Ethan Driscoll, CJ Hansen, who I don't think they will get to the practice squad.
Yeah.
Or Issa Pole.
I think
Pole might be the better player than Driscoll right now, is the reason that I say it.
I honestly, I would love that. And again, it's going to depend on camp, right? So if Pole has a good camp, and if Hansen just isn't really showing you anything from a guard perspective, because that's really all he has, and then again, Driscoll just hasn't developed, I think it could be Pole as well.
It's going to be interesting, though. The good thing is whoever doesn't make that, you want to try to get in the practice because you got to keep as much depth as possible. You still have Cooper Dalton back there. You have Joey Lombardi back there. So there's more depth.
No.
And even though you'll lose some of those guys with a little bit of experience, I don't think you'll lose them all, is where I'm coming from.
I'm with you.
Thanks, Beach. Frankie, nice to see you. What do you think the Mahomes' next contract needs to be? Another 10-year deal, 15? Why not solidify the rest of his career right now for a team-friendly deal? I mean, honestly, I think you just call it a decade for 100 mil. I don't think he needs to take more than $10 million a year. Honestly, I think he might pull like the ultimate Tom. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I don't think he's going to try to cost more than, say, 10% of the roster, even though some quarterbacks are going to push up to like into the 20s.
Yeah, we'll see. At the end of the day, I still think that Patrick understand it's not just about him and the team. It's also about continuing to move the cap hits for quarterbacks higher. And that is going to play a little bit into it, but I still think it's going to be a 10-year deal. I don't know. I honestly cannot give you a good number because I still think he's going to try his best to help the team out while also trying to push that forward. So you might see cap hits early on. One thing I will guarantee you, it will still be structured weirdly.
Yep. Absolutely. So if you guys didn't see it, Shea is now assistant VP. So he's not in a special role anymore. He's got a little bit more power, a little bit more freedom to play around with structure. And so I expect things to get a little bit weirder in general all the way around when it comes to contracts. Nathan, thank you. And thank you, Frankie. Off topic, but let's say Mahomes got drafted by starts for the 20
starts for the 2000. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Same roster, same coaches. What do you believe what the outcome would have been in 2010? Wasted.
Yeah.
Absolutely wasted.
Like let's not forget, like he would still have to wait like what 5-6 years before that offensive line becomes viable. Like LDT develops. Eric Fisher, he isn't even there until 2013. Like, let's be real about this. I think that would suck.
I'm going back because I just want to pull it off. This is the team that Matt Castle started for. So this is Todd Haley calling the plays, which is problem number one. Todd Haley to begin with. You do have Dwayne Bowe. He had Tony Moeaki as the rookie tight end. The best year of Tony Moeaki, by the way. Just saying.
I was so convinced he was the next Tony Gonzalez, guys.
Yeah.
When he made that one-handed catch in the back of the end zone, I was all in.
Ooh, man. It was an interesting offensive line, except for right tackle. Barry Richardson, I was never really impressed with. But he had Ryan Lilja had come over. Still had Casey Wigman and Brian Waters on the interior. And he had Brandon Albert at left tackle. Like, it was a viable team. Sean Smith, Ron Edwards, Glenn Dorsey. Oh, what a pick. Vrabel was still a player for this team in 2010. Ron Edwards, Derek Johnson, obviously, Tamba, Brandon Flowers, Brandon Carr. The Brandons and Eric Berry were all there. I think they would have wasted his talent. I don't think they would have been able to develop him.
No, the defense would have been still good, but again, that offensive line was nearing the end of its time, right? Like it was going to start to go through turmoil and changeover. And like you said, with Todd Haley, they weren't developing Patrick Mahomes. Pat needed to sit. He needed to sit, and he'll tell you the same thing now. He needed to sit. I know everyone thinks that they could have just walked in and won the Super Bowl that year with Patrick Mahomes. I'm telling you, they probably wouldn't have. They may have won a playoff game or two, maybe. Sure, I'd buy that. They wouldn't have won.
Charlie Weiss was the OC still. Holy hell! Oh, that was a great question, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan. I love that. I love reliving that stuff, man. That's great.
Dang. Not that Matt Castle brought you a ton, but I think you would have lost a few more games. I'm just saying.
He made a Pro Bowl, man. He made a Pro Bowl.
He did.
He'll tell you about it.
He certainly will. Ain't nobody going to forget that one. How would you handle 3rd and short this year if you were Andy? I don't know if I can see another fullback dive. I agree with you. I think they should keep my guy, but he's fast enough. You don't have to just dive him. If you're going to run him from a full backfield, run him off tackle. Play to your strengths. I don't know. I don't want to see Dive, 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 play action pass. That's all I'm saying.
Just drop back. Stop messing around. Just pure drop back from now on at 3rd and short. They won't do a QB sneak, so I don't care anymore. I'm not going to vie for it. Just drop back. Patrick, if you see a lane, go get it. For whatever reason, he's more comfortable with that than having a QB sneak. Makes no sense to me because it's statistically safer than having him run into open space. But
and collisions are bigger out there. Steven, aren't we rushing Josh back too soon? If he gets injured again, we're screwed to left tackle again and possibly the whole line. Well, I disagree with you there. You basically have two guys in Moore and him that are options. You have a backup either way. I agree that it does feel pretty forced and pretty quick, but I'm not in the training room or the field with him. If he's comfortable and he's performing and he feels good and he's able to perform in a way that doesn't give you pause, I can't say that I blame them for giving him a shot.
Trust the medical staff. If the medical staff tells you he's fine, he's fine. That's all we can do. I'm not trying to be condescending, Stephen. Like I'm just, that's all we can do. We can only trust the staff. They are the ones in there with him every day. They've been with his rehab. And if they trust that he can go out there, put pads on, run drills 100%, he can do it.
I like the holding of the mic, by the way. I'm waiting for you to take.
Sorry,
the kitty.
I'm literally on my left hip. So I have to take a break every now and then. It hurts.
If you could travel back in time to any sports event in history, which one would it be and why? Any sports event in history. I know the football one, so I'll let you think. I got to see the Bears play in '85 twice, including the playoff game against Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't get to go to the Super Bowl. I would want to go see that absolute massacre. But any sports event in history.
I'm gonna limit these to my lifetime because most stuff before that I don't care about. I'd want to go back and watch Michael Jordan's flu game. I would want to see him in his prime. I never got to watch that or remember it, so that's something that I would want to go back and see. Because I am a hockey fan, I'd love to go back to any of the 1997-98 Red Wings Stanley Cups and watch that team because it was one of an all-time great teams that I watched them, but I don't remember a lot of the moments. And even though I've went back and seen some of those on DVD and stuff like that, I'd like to relive it in my own way. But if I have there's not a whole lot else that I'd love to go back that I know off the top of my head.
This is a tough one for me because of the way that I grew up. Football was one of the sports, right? But I was keyed into a bunch of other ones, and they all revolved around this thing that happens every 4 years. Probably the other event that I would go to is the 1992 Olympics with the Dream Team and Jordan and all the records that were broken. That was one of the best games ever held for planetary competition. So that's probably where I would go.
If I had a football one, it's actually not Chiefs related. I would want to go back and see the Pittsburgh Steelers led by Ben Roethlisberger versus the Arizona Cardinals led by Kurt Warner, a Super Bowl. That's one of my most favorite Super Bowls that I ever got to watch. I remember everything about that game still. I would want to go back and watch that.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you have one of those. That's what kind of makes the whole sport go around.
Yeah.
Brady, if you felt like Andy insinuated that Simmons would start left and Jalen Moore would start right initially, do you think Moore has as good a shot of keeping that job? I don't know because of this fact. I think Moore's had to fill in and be more adjustable so far in his career, and I think Simmons, you want to give him the easiest path to performance, and he's definitely more comfortable, in my opinion, at left, even with his older film.
Yeah, I'm the younger players. I'm always going to be more apt to play them at their comfortable spot, at the place that they played in the last, which again was left tackle. Sometimes it works out. Talise Fuaga for the Saints played left tackle last year. He was awesome. He was a right tackle coming out, and I didn't think he could switch. He did, and he played well. Sometimes it works out. A lot of times, especially with someone coming off of an injury, I don't want to put any other workings into what's going on. You want the body to do the exact same things, because if you're putting it not just through that, but also learning something else, I think there's more possibilities something mess up.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kelly, just to feed this in, that you heard Josh Simmons' injury was only a slight partial tear. Is that correct? And so could explain the rapid recovery. I also have it on authority that it was not a complete tear. I will not use the word slight, because anything in the patellar tendon is not slight.
Yeah,
it is the biggest fulcrum in your body, specifically for levering the lower body. But it would explain, if it was a non-complete tear, why his recovery has gone so well to this point. But that is theory at this point. I have it on 2 sources that I trust that it was not a complete tear, but that's really all I can confirm.
awesome.
And I clicked off the wrong list. Sorry, 1 second.
That's okay.
Thank you, Swag. What are you most excited for this season? Mine is playing the Eagles. They need to stomp them. Little revenge game. I like that.
What am I most excited for? I personally just getting an offensive line on the field that isn't going to put Patrick Mahomes, into a craze. That's what I'm most excited for. I'm tired of seeing him have to make things happen all the time. I'd love to see him just sit back there and kind of relax and trust his receivers and trust his offensive line.
I like it. I feel like Patrick's in this kind of like, I've played it your way, and we were too vanilla the last 2 seasons. This feels like, for Mahomes in particular, but for the offense in general, it's a hold my beer year.
I hope so.
And that's what I want to see. Just craziness. I don't need the behind the back passes, Patrick. I don't need the no looks. If they come in handy one time, fine. But I just need you to be methodical and just absolutely relentless. That's what I'm looking for. And I think it's a possibility. We'll see. Minotaur, thank you for gifting everybody memberships,
Awesome.
folks. If you get a membership, you get to play here in the chat, as we always do. This is a lot of fun around here, but you can upgrade to the rookie level, get in the Discord, get our rants, get our thoughts, get some documents, the things that we put out sometimes during the year, as well as some discounts on some gear and stuff. Got some designs on the way. The newest one, that it goes into this whole season. You need to make Mahomes great again. You can get that at the store right now. Go check that out. Beach, if you could have one thing, consistent pressure from a defensive lineman or consistent run game you can lean on, what are you taking?
Ryan and I have the same exact answer to this question.
Really?
I'm going to assume that we do. Maybe we don't.
No, we might. We might. I think most people assume we didn't, because for me, it's the defensive line.
Oh, really? So we're not. I would say consistent run game. There's Chris Jones on that side. I'm okay.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. For me, it's the one thing that, as the evolution of this game continues, pressure is more important. And as much as I love the run game, and I think it should be part of the game, it just keeps getting proven to not be something that is absolutely essential as it used to be. And that's it hurts my soul a little bit, but that's what I keep seeing.
See, we're coming back around on the run game guitar, though. Like, it's becoming more important right now. So
it is.
Just wanted to point this out from Gary. Like, this is also something I would. Yes. This is it too. This is it. Like, I would.
Damn.
That place would have been absolutely wild.
Well, and the 84 summer games, I mean, damn, yeah, I think it's cool that we're all sports fans, but in the end, I think the Olympics kind of touch everybody in their own way, because A, there's a lot of sports, but B, it is such a existential thing for this country. And I love it. So good for you guys. Mintar, thank you. Would Jalen sign an extension if he's not going to get the opportunity to play left tackle? It's a good question. I don't know, but if he were, I feel like he would be interested in anything that allows him to sign an extension to be a starter.
Correct. And that's my assumption as well. When you play backup for a long time and you learn a lot. You play 5 games as a starter. You're like, I liked starting. If I have the opportunity to start, whether it's at right or left, I'll probably be happy. Not to mention, as soon as they drafted Josh Simmons, he knew his future was not starting at left tackle for this team. It wasn't.
True. Embrace your future. That's a very good point. Okay, we're going to speed round through these. Some nice comments. Thank you, Jeremy. The early days of the channel were wild. Dan doing video breakdowns from the floor in front of his couch. Do you remember those?
I remember I had the coffee table set up right in front of me. My legs are underneath it, and I had the laptop on top. Yeah, it was. Oh man, it was wild. It was crazy days, Jeremy.
It was just get her done days, man. Get her done.
Oh,
that was
man.
awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. And Minotaur, thank you. I appreciate it. Those are the videos that hooked me. Yeah, when I tried to be a cinematographer because I am not as good as my brother, I finally had to walk away from that stuff. But still have the coffee cup footage somewhere, folks. I'll put it together for a reel sometime. It should be entertaining. Would putting Creed at guard be an option? It would have if you hadn't spent the money on Trey. I think I even floated that concept. Like, if they really couldn't get it done, would you? At this point, I don't think it helps you to put. It would probably be Noorzad at center then, unless Kingsley just is not what I think he is and can't get it done. Then maybe you consider it. I think Trey can or Creed can play all 3 interior positions.
Yeah, I think it's a break glass in case of emergency right now. It's the same thing you had with Joe Tooney. Like, if he needs to absolutely play there, yeah, he can. But ideally, you don't want to move him anymore.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Terry had surgery 3 weeks ago. Still on the couch. Your podcast making it easier. Thank you. Well, thank you, Terry, I hope you feel better. Man, that is a recovery. It's always tough coming out of there. So well done. Keep your spirits up and keep healing.
Hope you're doing well, Terry.
Yeah, very much so. Travis, what's your best? We're going to wrap with Travis, by the way, folks, unless there's any other super chats. I swear I'm not going to push again, but I think we covered all the things. Yes, we did. It looks like it. Okay, cool. So what's your best third and short plays that we need to call this year? I don't know if I can. Okay, so now I want to know the plays that you would call. What would you do?
Okay. Again, I'm just going to probably do the exact same thing every single time. I'm going to run a fast guy on a little out route to the right side. I'm going to run a dig the opposite way. I'm going to roll Patrick Mahomes out. You got 1, 2, and if it's there, you go. If it's not, you throw it. It's got to be simple. It's got to be something that we don't have to keep seeing the same thing over and over again, unless you can finally establish the offensive line to move people, which we haven't seen in a very long time. But I'm not doing fullback dive. It's either hand it off to Kareem Hunt because he will give it to you and give you the short yardage, or you do exactly what I just said. You run a quick drag left to right, roll Mahomes out. If it's there, you throw it. If not, you run it.
And then that's absolutely fair. I would still experiment a little bit more. I love the concept of RPO out of counter action. I think on goal line, that's really great. And so you let Patrick decide.
Yeah.
And then he has a 2-way go that point. I also think you run split backs out of there. You pitch it if they try to cram the box. And if they're going to let you go outside, you just pitch the ball out to an easy walk-in touchdown for whoever. And if not, then you take it as a lead the opposite direction. I think either way, if you get some things done, there's some old school plays in there too that I'd have to go draw up.
There are options, guys. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't.
What it does have to be is the end of our evening. It is Monday night. Dan has a family to get to. We have stuff to do. We know you do as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the support tonight. Make sure you're with us. First practice tomorrow. Season ticket holders, you guys get to go see it. I want reports from everybody. Hit me on Twitter. I'm sorry, X at Right Tracy NFL. So if you see something cool, let me know. In the end, we're going to be here for you. I have a piece. I want you to know how I feel about Norman Lott tomorrow in case we don't get reports fast enough out of camp. So I have a piece ready for you already, and I'll break in with anything else. We're back in the swing of it. Dan's got some stuff to do, but we're going to keep you covered as we get through the beginning of camp, as we get going. I cross my fingers for you, my friend. I hope you and the ladies have a nice, smooth transition.
Thank you. I cannot guarantee you guys anything on Wednesday. I will be driving probably 8 hours that day. So we'll figure something out. Okay. I'll get something. If not this week, definitely next week with some more camp stuff when I got some more time to sit down with it.
No worries at all. we will be here for you. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. Everybody stay well. Enjoy the heat if you're going to St. Joe. And we will talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.